Nice. Yo, Jort, if you are planning a trip to Colombia, guess what? We actually have a group trip coming, a group trip. I'm now helping people actually plan their trips. We have an option now. Go to the link in my bio right over here, and we'll plan the trip for you. We'll plan the entire trip for you. I have people who are in Medellin. I have people who are in Cartagena. I have people who know those places up and down, left and right, zigzagged. And they'll be able to get you like your ideal Colombian trip and save you money, to be honest. I have a live I'm doing tomorrow starting at let's do 10:30. Um. Anyway, um. Let's see. Yes, that would help. Awesome, dude. I would love to go help me. Yo, so click link in bio, fill out the form, Columbia group trip, and I'll reach out to you. Have I ever been to Africa? I've been to Egypt and I've been to Morocco, but I haven't really like been to Africa. Um, what's your favorite country where you went to? That's a good question. Right now, right now, my favorite countries that I've been to as of now, I would say in some order are Vietnam, Brazil, and Japan. Vietnam, Brazil, and Japan, I would say are my top three. Paraguay right now is getting expensive. Let me tell you this. People you travel to different places for different reasons. Paraguay, I go to Paraguay because I just want to post up here. If you're looking for somewhere to post up that's cheap, it's Latin America, Paraguay used to be a good idea. Nowadays, Paraguay is getting expensive. So me and my wife are going somewhere else. Like your videos, man. Thanks, man. What's safe, Cartagena or Medellin? I mean, both can be safe and both can be dangerous. That's just the truth. You're in Latin America. Both can be safe and both can be dangerous. What I recommend doing, though, and I'm going to be plugging this, is go to the link in my bio. There is a thanks for the soccer balls, Gorilla. There is a link in my bio for a group trip to Cartagena. I have a friend in Cartagena. We're starting to do group trips together. And what we're gonna do is he has a private yacht. He has a penthouse. He knows a lot of other people with private yachts, a lot of other people with penthouses. We have ATVs. We have the hookups to all the restaurants, the hookups to all the nightclubs, the hookups to everything. If you're like, I want to go to Cartagena, I just don't know what I should be doing, you're going to want to fill out the link in the bio. And by the way, here's how affordable it is. Here is how affordable this trip is. I'm a sales rep in my day job, right? So I have a lot of conversations with people where we talk about we're going to do something for you, and then I tell them the price, and then they're just like, "That's out of my wheelhouse. I can't do that. Sorry." Right? That's a very normal thing that happens. In fact, I've been told before. I have been told many times before that if you do not have that happen, you're not charging enough. As an aside, for anybody running their own businesses out there, that's a little piece of information. However, on the form in the link in the bio, there is a question, which is what is your approximate budget for a week? And I've had I put it up yesterday. I've had like 10 responses so far. And every single response, their budget is above what we're quoting. Above what they're quoting. I've never seen that before in my life. That's how inexpensive this trip is. That's how amazing the hookups are that we're getting for you on this Cartagena trip. If you have ever wanted to go to Cartagena for a week and you wanted to go on a private boat and you have wanted to go stay in a penthouse and you've wanted to get the connections to all the girls and all the restaurants and everything, that's what that's for. Anyway, I'm gonna I apologize for people for promoting this, but this is the reason why I'm doing the live. But I'll get back to answering people's questions without talking about the trip. Unless you guys have some questions about the trip, then I'll be happy to answer those. What languages do I speak? I speak 3 languages. 3. I speak English, I speak Polish, and I speak Spanish. I speak a little bit of Portuguese. I can if I was in Brazil for like a month, my Portuguese would come back. Did you ever feel unsafe in Brazil and Colombia? Yeah, I mean but I'm also an idiot. I get I'm an idiot. Let's just say that. Long-term living with kids and wife, Ciudad de Mexico, Barcelona, Lisbon, or Buenos Aires. Ciudad de Mexico, Barcelona, Lisbon, or Buenos Aires. Put a rose in the chat. Gift a rose if you think you know what my answer is going to be. Put a rose in the chat if you think you know what my answer is going to be. If you've been listening to enough of these lives that you know what my answer is going to be, gift a rose. No one's gifting a rose? We can't get a single rose? Gorilla's gifted a rose. Gorilla, put in the chat what you think the answer is going to be, and if you're right, I'm going to hook you up with something. Ismael put a rose. Tyga put a rose. Okay, all of you, put your answers in the chat what you think the answer is going to be, and if you're right, I'm going to hook you up with something. I don't know what it is yet, but we're going to figure it out. Tyga says Buenos Aires. Gorilla says no. Okay, Gorilla and Tyga, I'm gonna give you like another Gorilla and Ismail. I'm gonna give you another like couple seconds to answer. All right, the answer is out of all of those options, Ciudad de Mexico, Barcelona, Lisbon, or Buenos Aires, where I think you should post up with the kids and a wife, is none of them. None of those places. Those are all bad options. Those are all terrible options to live long term with a wife and a kid. I could not think of worse options than those, to be honest with you. Maybe like New York City and Miami and like LA, like maybe those places, but like outside of the United States, it's hard to think of worse options than Ciudad de Mexico, Barcelona, Lisbon, and Buenos Aires. All of them are insanely overpriced right now. All of them are flooded with Westerners. All of them are starting to get anti-American like sentiment, specifically in Ciudad de Mexico and Barcelona, less in Lisbon and Buenos Aires. So I wouldn't go to any of those. If you're looking for a Spanish-speaking country, if you're looking for a Spanish-speaking country, Spanish-speaking city to post up in, or just place in Latin America, there are a lot of options. You can go to Santiago, Chile. You can go to Mendoza, Argentina. You can go to Lima, Peru. These are all great options. Those 4 are probably your worst options. If you're looking for Europe, you can go to Albania. Albania is an amazing option. People don't realize this about Albania. Albania is right next to three of the most beautiful places on planet Earth: Montenegro, Italy, and Greece. Those are the three places that people spend thousands, tens of thousands of dollars to go to. If you are in Albania, you could just drive to Montenegro. It's an hour away. I literally drove from Albania to Montenegro. That's how I got to Montenegro, was by driving. Well, actually, the way that I got to Albania was from driving from Montenegro. The point is, it's close by. So that's where you want to go. You do not want to go to Barcelona. You don't want to go to Lisbon, and you definitely do not want to go to Buenos Aires. I'm not exaggerating. Buenos Aires on my list of places I want to go in the world is probably dead last. Like once you take out like Congo and like Syria, like those types of places, Buenos Aires is probably dead last on my list of places I want to go. How much languages do you speak? I speak 3. I was in Florianopolis, Balneara, and Rio. It was amazing. Those are great places, bro. Is Bogota a great place to find a girlfriend, like a real relationship? 100%. 100%. If you're looking for a real relationship, you go to Bogota. If you're looking for pay for play, then you go to Medellin or Cartagena, and you go in the link in the bio and you put in for the group trip. What do you think of the DR? I haven't been to the DR, so I don't have any thoughts about the DR. Buenos Aires, I'm gonna say no. Buenos Aires, maybe Bogota. No, we got all these questions wrong. Somebody, so second choice is right. Okay. I went to Caracas a few years ago. I just shared my experience. No, this isn't Passport Tiger Live. This is Passport Paulie Live. I don't really like the It's such a weird thing that people argue with me about. That Caracas is like a place that people should go to. Capitals are usually not the best. Yeah, that's true. Capitals of smaller countries though are not that bad. Like a capital of like Lima, Peru is a great place. Mainly because the place that people go to is what's that place? Where do people go to? What's the name? Name of the city? Cusco. Cusco. Asuncion. Albania is great. 100%. Ismael Fernandez. Taiga. Asuncion is a total dump. Asuncion is one of my favorite places on earth, bro. Asuncion's a little expensive now, but Asuncion is one of my favorite places on earth right now, bro. Taiga is just stirring the pot right now. No, Switzerland is the most beautiful. I don't know what I said it was the most beautiful, but I could see Switzerland being very beautiful. I just haven't been. Bro, what do you do for work? I'm a remote sales rep. What about Bosnia? I haven't been to Bosnia. I want to go to Bosnia. Guys, stop asking the same questions so many times in the chat. Isn't Albania where Liam Neeson got his daughter taken? Yeah, it's sure, but that's a fictional movie. How dangerous is Venezuela, bro? Venezuela is incredibly dangerous. There are few places on earth more dangerous for you to go to right now as an American than Venezuela. Not only will you have gangs trying to kidnap you and kill you, you'll also have the government trying to kidnap and kill you. There is no reason you guys should be going to Venezuela. Just stop this bullshit. What are your thoughts on Honduras? Where to go in Hio? No, you're not going to share your experiences about Caracas. Some certa. Bro, sure you're ignoring my work. Yeah, but maybe they will, maybe they won't, but like I just don't want to have a conversation right now. I just feel like answering some questions, promoting my group package. Like that's what I feel like doing. People don't realize that like there is a reason why I hop on these lives, and it's not for like the betterment of the world. You know what I mean? Overall thoughts on Lima, Peru. Lima, Peru is amazing. I love Lima, Peru. I would move to Lima, Peru, but the problem is my wife is Venezuelan, and so she can't get a visa there. So that's the problem. Santa Marta, Colombia seems chill. It's getting over flooded. What do you think of Cuba for a bachelor party? I mean, can you go to Cuba? Like, do you have a different passport? I like what I've heard about Cuba as a gringo is you will get scammed very easily in Cuba. You will get scammed very easily in Cuba. They will take you very easily. Yo, thanks for the rose, Melly Carthus. Melly Carthus is my boy, bro. What's my job? I'm a remote sales rep. Ignoring my work. What work are you doing, bro? Comcerta. You kind of have a bad attitude. This dude is a guest on my live and is telling me that I have a bad attitude. Dude, I do a live a couple of hours every day. If I don't want to hand a mic over for you so that you can talk to people, that doesn't mean that I have a bad attitude. It just means that I don't feel like doing that right now. This is this is the thing. There's so many people who go in my lives, in my comments, and like they want to share information, but nobody cares what they have to say. Like most of these people like Tyga have like posted on TikTok before, and like nobody has interacted with their content, and they talk to people in real life, and nobody cares what they have to say about where they've traveled to. And so they come into my live and they're like, I want to use his platform to so that I can finally have people listen to what I have to say. And the problem is the reason why people don't care what you have to say is because you're not communicating it to people in an effective manner. You need to communicate to people in a way where you are answering, you're providing value to people, and you're giving them information that they care about. You're giving people information that you care about. You need to give information that they care about. That's the big difference between me and other people. And like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to just go on a soapbox. I'm trying to give you people some game because I see so many travel influencers in this space who are salty as fuck as me because I came on the scene 6 months ago. I have 50,000 followers. I have videos in the millions, and these fucking dorks have been posting on TikTok for 10 years and have 8,000 followers. And I get these people in my comments salty at me. And they're like, I have more information than you. I have more information than you. Why do people care about what you think? And I'm like, it's because you communicate to people in a way to make yourself feel good because you want to feel like the man for the places that you've been to. What I do, and the reason why people care about my information, is I communicate to people to help them feel like the man and to help them feel like they can have a like achieve the goals that they've always wanted to achieve, right? So if you want people to care about your opinion about Caracas, you need to stop jumping in people's lives and trying to take the mic and getting people to like bully somebody and harangue somebody into like letting you take over my live and talk to my audience that I've spent 7 months cultivating and working extremely hard to get this audience. Like, you didn't work to get an audience. So why should I give you my audience? Because you want it? That's not how this works, pal. That's not how this works. You have a bad attitude. You have a bad attitude. my attitude is a good one because I'm the one with people in my life. You're the one without it. Anyway, I'm gonna stop this. Anyway, what's the package? So the package is I have a friend of mine lives in Cartagena. This guy has a penthouse. This guy has a private yacht. This guy has all the hookups to all the bars, all the restaurants. This guy knows dozens and dozens of women, everything. If you want to have your dream trip to Cartagena, go to the link in the bio, fill out the Cartagena travel package form. We'll set up a call and we'll talk. There are two different options. The first option is if you have like a group of 7 or 8 buddies and you're like, hey, we can each throw down a certain amount of money and get our trip. We will plan a specific trip for you, right? The second option is if you're like, hey, man, I want to go on a group trip. I just don't have the people, but I'm willing to pay my part. Perfect. Don't worry about it. Just click solo traveler. We have 2 group trips coming up, and we'll give you the information. They're 4 months away, so you can do everything you need to do, pay the money, and everything's set up. All you have to do is just fly down to Colombia. We can even take care of your tickets too. Because my buddy has like connections, right? So that's what the package is. So click on the link in the bio if you're interested, and we'll get that set up for you. You haven't been to Venezuela, so don't talk about it. You don't have the balls to go like I did. This is the exact attitude why people don't care why anything you say. This guy is 100% an HTS. I don't know why HTS means. Why are you so triggered? Am I triggered? How much do I have to live a month to live in Colombia? Probably like 3K, to be honest. I wanted to talk about Venezuela because your guests are interested in that country. My guests. What a loser. It's not that deep. Let's talk about best vacation spots. That's fair, man. I just look. If you haven't been to this live before, this live is me just popping off on topics. So like, I'll get to the travel stuff, but like you have to let me pop off. Tyga talking facts. It's not about me wanting to speak. It's just your attitude is kind of rude to your fans. How long have you been my fan, bro? How long have you been my fan? How long have you been my fan? Do you even follow me? How long have you been my fan? I've never seen you in my lives before. You're such a great fan. I've never seen you in my lives before. I've never seen you in my comments. What are you talking about? You're my fan. You're not my fan. You're just someone who just came in right now and wants to take control of my life. And her butt hurt that I'm not letting you do it. Yo, Melly Karthus. Melly Karthus is my fan. Melly Karthus comes in, asks questions, is respectful, asks the conversation, gives roses. Melly Karthus, have I ever been rude to you? John is here all the time. Ismael, have I ever been rude to you once? No, of course not, because Ismael is my fan. You're not. Do you know Spanish? Yes, I know Spanish. Drop the passport, bros, and untapped gem. I don't know what that means, but drop an untapped gem for passport, bros. Okay, that makes sense. The untapped gem for passport, bros. We're now getting somewhere. I'm done with this clown. So the untapped gem for passport, bros, is Morocco. Not once, exactly. Ismail's my boy. Drop an untapped gem for passport, bros. The untapped gem is Morocco. The girls are insanely hot. I slept with this girl who looked like Dua Lipa. She was also mentally ill. So it was incredible night. If you want to go out with girls, that's cheap. Pay for play is also cheap. It's like $35 for pay for play in Morocco. Everything else is cheap as well. Food is cheap. Lodging is cheap. Everything's cheap. It's a beautiful city. It's like gorgeous. It's safe. Marrakesh, Morocco is like, one of the best places that I've been. Ever been with a ladyboy? No. What cities in Vietnam did you go to? I went to Ho Chi Minh City and Da Nang. How was Mass of the Vatican? Sadly, we didn't do Mass of the Vatican. We really wanted to, but our schedule didn't line up. So we just like hung out. We spent like an hour at the Vatican outside. How much to live in Costa Rica per month? About 4K. Are they all like that? No, that's not true. Sup? What do you sell? Um. Anyway, yo, Paulie, sup? Hey, Banjo Sparkles. Banjo Sparkles, have I ever been rude to you? Banjo Sparkles comes to my lives. I know Banjo Sparkles. Banjo Sparkles, have I ever been rude to you? I don't think so. I mean, I'm talking about like genuinely rude. Like sometimes I joke, but I don't think I've ever been rude to like an actual follower. Take it easy, big boy. All right, bro. The locals all suck in Morocco. They just want your money. That's honestly true most places you go, except Latin America. Latin America less so, but like definitely most places, especially in Asia. Can you show a pic of your wife? Curious. This person asked this question respectfully. No, I don't show a picture of my wife. Long story. My like superpower is I don't care what people say to me. So I get a ton of negative comments. I just view that as more engagement. My wife, though, is like, you say the smallest negative thing to her, she breaks down. So, like, I just don't post pictures of her because, like, I don't want, her to get, like, she's very sensitive. Guy's a cool guy. Thanks, bro. I hear Morocco is a huge tourist trap. Yeah, so here's the thing. There is, so if you go to Marrakesh, right? Now we're talking actual travel. If you go to Marrakesh, there's an area called the Medina. Do not stay in the Medina. Visit the Medina like for a couple days, like a couple times. The Medina is like the tourist area, but do not live in the Medina because you will have a horrible time. So do not do that. But definitely, definitely visit Marrakesh. There's an area called Galiz that's like 20 minutes northwest of the Medina. So you can walk there, you can go to all the places if you want. You're gonna go there once or twice, you'll be like, man, I'm overpaying for everything. This is horrible, and you're never gonna go again. But Marrakesh is just a great place to post up and meet chicks. What are the negatives of Marrakesh? I've heard bad things too. The negatives of Marrakesh are like the Medina, basically. What's my favorite city in Thailand? It's not really a city. It's called Koh Samui. It's an island. That's like my happy place. But right now, it's really overrun. Thailand is overrun with tourists right now. That being said, so I was telling you guys about the Cartagena package. We're also going to have a Europe package. The Europe package is going to be for like, it's going to be more of like guys want to take their fiance or their wife out. It's gonna be more like that. Like, I don't think you should really do a boys' trip to like Paris. So I have a buddy in Paris who, like, I don't know how he does it. He makes like $2,000 a month, but he's been to like 200 Michelin star restaurants. He just only either cooks at home or eats at Michelin star restaurants. Anyway, this guy like knows Paris like the back of his hand. And so we're going to set up a package for people in Paris as well. So if you're like married and you want to do like a romantic week-long getaway to Paris and you don't mind shelling out like six, seven, $10,000 to have like the perfect experience, we're gonna have that for you as well. And then we're also gonna build out a Thailand experience. I got some buddies in Thailand who actually wanted to do this independently, and we were talking a few months ago when I was in Vietnam about this. And so we're gonna hook this up. We're gonna build out a Thailand package for you too. So basically, this is gonna be a whole travel agency experience. Wherever you want to go, we're gonna have packages at the ready for you. But right now is just Cartagena, or fill out the form and we can get some things ready for you. What's it like in Laos, Cambodia? Yo, thanks for the rose, man. Laos is like Laos just doesn't really have the um your credit is rolled, my friend. Thanks, man. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Um Laos just doesn't have the infrastructure for tourists yet. I really think that Laos is going to be a great location in like 5 years. Right now, it's a little bit too grimy. And I like Laos because I'm the type of guy who likes what Laos has to offer. But like, I couldn't recommend Laos because it's not, you know. How would you rank Hawaii? I wouldn't. What do you know about Eastern Europe? Estonia, Liechtenstein, Lithuania. So Liechtenstein is not in Eastern Europe. Liechtenstein is between Switzerland and Germany. But I'm Polish. I've spent years of my life in Poland. So if you have any questions about Poland, I can answer them. You run a great show. Don't give attention to negative people. Thanks, man. Mario was just calling me big boy, and now I have a convert. Mario was just like making a fat joke at me, and I was just like, man, this guy actually knows what he's doing. And here's the thing, right? Like we did that back and forth with Tyga. I don't know if that dude is still here or if he's in another travel TikTok live trying to talk about Venezuela. But like I've done enough of these now, but they're like I know what's gonna slap. And like that dude just like trying to talk about Venezuela is just not going to be an interesting conversation. I just know it's going to be one of those things where like after like 2 or 3 minutes, I'm just be like, uh huh, uh huh, oh, okay, uh huh, yeah, no, yeah, okay, okay. And like I've had enough of those now. Like that is just not want to get your book. So I used to just have my book link in my bio. I put in like my link tree back in there. Like when I'm promoting one thing hard, I will just have that. But right now it's the link tree with everything. So if you want to get the book, just click on the link tree and the link is there. So you can go there. Actually, Thailand is way down in tourism because it's become too expensive. People head to Vietnam. So that's true and not true. Like tourism in Thailand is still up, but he is right that like the passport bros in the know are all going to Vietnam. Vietnam right now is what Thailand was in 2014. If you're talking to somebody who was in Thailand in 2014, 2015, and he's talking about how great Thailand was, and he's telling you you should go to Thailand. Just take the word Thailand and exchange it with Vietnam, and that's what you need. And I know this because I was in Thailand in 2015. I was in Thailand in 2025. And I was in Vietnam in 2025. Vietnam is the new Thailand. That's just true. Venezuela's get some freedom real soon. Hmm. Anyway, I answered the Laos question. Best city country to take your partner for a vacation. So I'm not pushing the tourist thing in Paris because it's literally going to be like $8,000. But the best city to go with your partner is hands down Paris. I made a video about this and it did not take off because all of the dudes were angry at it and all of my followers are dudes. But like if you want to gain like relationship points, Paris is like, and people who are not in relationships don't know what I mean, but people who are in relationship know exactly what I mean. If you want to get relationship points, go take your partner to Paris. First of all, Paris is actually a delightful city. People talk about it being overrun by like Somalians and stuff. I was there. It's not true. At least when I was there, at least in my personal experience, it was not true. Paris, so the hotels in Paris are very expensive, but the everything else is very cheap. Me and my wife would go out to dinner. And I was not like looking at the menu trying to save money. Like I was like, we were just like balling. And I would spend $45 at dinner. And I'm talking two entrees, an appetizer, and two glasses of wine was like $45 in Paris. And we went to some nice places in rich areas. I went to a restaurant that had a Ferrari outside, that literally had a Ferrari parked outside. Me and my wife each ordered a steak. We had a steak tartare as our appetizer, and we both ordered wine. And our bill was $52. So Paris is really affordable. It's delightful. Your woman will go crazy over it, and you're gonna get a huge amount of like brownie points for it. You can bring it up in like an arguments for years. Any thoughts on Cape Town? I haven't been to Cape Town. How do you rate Georgia? I'm pissed at Georgia, but I don't really want to tell that story right now. But I'm pissed at Georgia. I want to go to Georgia, but I'm pissed at Georgia. Poland worth a visit for a single guy. Warsaw, Krakow. I don't know, man. I really don't think. I really don't think so. I really don't think Poland is not like the single guy place to go. Polish girls are very materialistic. Let's just say that. Polish girls really care about money. It's very integral into Polish culture. And so if you're a guy like backpacking or even like digital nomading in Poland, like you're not going to be pulling these tents. Maybe I'm just ugly. Maybe that was it. If I grab a Latino wife, will she be pissed living in Europe or nobody speaks Spanish? A lot of Latinos are going to Europe right now. My wife told me that like the thing that made her interested in me, like she was like, if I was interested in you for your passport, it wouldn't be your American passport, it'd be your European passport. um Paulie's back. Yo, Austin's my boy. Do you use the vozio when you speak Spanish? What's the vozio? What advice do you have about Peru? I actually only went to Lima. I was supposed to go to Cusco, but my phone got stolen in Sao Paulo, and so I wasn't able to because um okay. Um well, anyway. Got some turds messages. You been to Norway, Finland? I haven't been. Have you ever experienced fatigue in any of the places that you're going to? I don't specifically know what he means, but if you're talking about like going to a place for a month and like feeling fatigued of it, that happens a lot. That happens a lot. And I can tell you those places. There's some places where like it drops dramatically. That was the Philippines. By the way, so my wife and I have a deal right now, which is that I am going to eat healthy 6 days a week because I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to be healthier, but I get one piece of shit day a week, and today is my piece of shit day. So that's why I'm drinking like a liter of cola. It helps me like get through the week to know that like I have like a day where I can really be a piece of shit all day long. Thought Paris was overrated now and ruined in recent years. Yeah, dude, I switched to Diet Coke. So I'm not like um so during the week I don't drink any soda. During the week I drink just water and just tea. So that's not, Diet Coke with ice cream. Seeing results yet? To be honest, not really. I haven't been seeing a lot of results yet. So I think it's also like I'm drinking a lot of Monster Energies. So we just bought like a matcha thing. Saying Voss instead of two and instead is just a basic U for anyone. Um, yeah, I mean the way that people in like conversationally say like Voss, like in Spanish, is they use the usted. So typically, I mean, this might just be Venezuelan Spanish. So, but that's my wife is Venezuelan. That's where I learned. Is they'll said like instead of like tu vas a cinema, which is like you're going to the cinema, they'll say something like usted van a cinema, right? And so that's how they typically will say boss. Typical Sao Paulo, 100%, man, 100%. Dude, I was standing outside of a Michelin star restaurant named Peachy in Sao Paulo. Peachy, Picchi. If you guys want to go, it's not that good. And I was drunk as hell. I was ordering an Uber, and these two kids came up on bikes, and they just snatched the phone out of my hand. And that's how drunk I was. I legitimately thought it was like a practical joke. I was like, "Hey guys, haha, give me my phone back," and like, obviously they didn't, because I was an idiot. Thoughts on Cuban girls for wife material? I haven't really been to Cuba, but like if you're talking Ameritinas, like Roses in chat, if you've heard my Maritina rant already. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have heard my Maritina rant, but I just want to get a gauge of how many people have heard me go off on Ameritinas. Ameritinas are not Latinas. Ameritinas are not Latinas. I would argue Ameritinas are worse than American girls and Latinas. Because the problem with Ameritinas is Ameritinas have all the negatives of Latinas, the fiery personality, a temper, all that stuff, combined with the left-wing brain virus of feminism of American girls. So you're basically getting like let's say you were to marry like Becky from Tennessee, right? Like, yes, she's gonna lecture you about a bunch of bullshit all the time and like microaggressions and shit, but at least she is like kind of docile. You know what I mean? Kind of deferential. Not an Ameritina. An Ameritina is gonna have that Latina attitude plus all that feminism. And I would argue, I don't know if there's stats on this, but I'm pretty sure if there were stats on this, I would be right. I would argue the average Ameritina has more bodies than the average American girl. That's what I would argue. Now, the average Latina or the median Latina has way less bodies. The median Latina has like one body or two bodies. Tops three or four. I'm talking about the median Latina. The median Ameritina probably has like 50, if we're just being honest. So an Ameritina is not a Latina. The benefits of a Latina is the traditional values, is the fact that like her mom and her sister are her best friends, is the fact that she was raised in a household where she's told to cook and clean and take care of her man, right? A girl who was raised in a West, like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is not a Latina in the real sense of the term of like, hey, I want to meet Latinas. Does that make sense to people? Roses in the chat, if that makes sense. If you've now just heard my Ameritina rant, throw some roses if that makes sense. Throw some roses. Melly Karthis, obviously, my boy. Some other people should throw some roses too, because that is a great take. That's one of my best takes, I would argue. That is one of my anti-Ameritina tent is one of my best takes. So that's not gonna get some roses in the chat. I do not know what will. But I think some people should throw some, especially DJ Firewood. I just saved you a lot of headache. Nader Vision, Oscar GSD. I appreciate it, guys. Broad strokes. We have no respect. Ooh, Oscar. Is Asuncion Paraguay really cooked? Yeah, man, I'm sorry to say. Like it is cooked. It's just not. It's expensive now. My wife spent $100 on groceries this week, and it wasn't even enough for the whole week. Are you tracking calories? Ice. Sorry, ice. They keep telling me guarda, guarda, guarda. Tuck my phone. Yeah, dude, you gotta. There are a lot of areas in Latin America you gotta watch your phone. Like I look like a little bit of like a paranoid when I'm in Asia. Because like what will happen like in Asia is like I'll hear a motorcycle coming up on me, and like if I have my phone like this, I hear a motorcycle, I'm like I'm protecting you with my body, and like people look at me like I'm a lunatic, and I'm like, bro, I spend most of my time in Latin America, so you know that's just smart in Latin America. That's not even smart. That's like basics. You have to protect your phone in Latin America. You always have to have like the way you carry your phone in Latin America has to have your body between people. You know what I mean? You can't be carrying it like this. You have to carry it like this. In most places, especially. All the downsides, no real upsides, 100%, except for looks. I don't know what a Zapatista leftist woman means, but like Paul, I'm 18. Where do I go first for the baddies at Mediterranean? So what country's best for me? Um, okay, IG yes. Yo, so again, like I don't want to constantly be, you know, I don't want to be constantly pushing shit, but IG yes. Here's what you gotta do. You gotta go to the link in the bio. Fill out the Cartagena group package form. You have your first trip to Latin America. We have the whole setup for you. Everything's set up for you. We have my boy has a penthouse. He has a yacht. He has ATVs, hookups. He has restaurants. He knows all the girls. If you want to do a week in Cartagena or a week in Colombia, this is the week that you need to do. So many people go to Cartagena or go to Medellin and like think they'll just be able to figure it out. And like you won't like your first time. It's difficult. There's a lot of organization. He'll take care of all that for you and it'll also be cheaper. It'll also be a cheaper move. So click the link in the bio. Not to mention people in the States are just miserable all the time, 100%. Brazil is still the move. It depends on like where you are in your travel journey. How many countries have you been to, David TikTok? The property is so cheap there and rent is cheap. Yeah, dude, but like everything's getting really expensive now. Also, like a lot of the problem with Asuncion is that the dollar is just getting debased like crazy. So the exchange rate between Guarani and the dollar back in January when I was here was about 1.3 to 1. So like $100 would get you 1,300,000 Guarani. And then right now it's sorry, $130 would get you a million Guarani. Right now, it's $150. So if you think about it, basically everything's like 15% cheaper, and it's just going worse. I'm thinking about flying south for the winter. Nice, dude. Is there a package for solo travelers? That is a great question. So, yes and no. The package for solo travelers is like we have some group trips coming up and you can like be a part of that group trip. You know what I mean? So like you don't have to make your group, you can just join a group. But we're gonna have group packages that solo packages at some point. But right now, if you want to travel solo, you can join the group trip as a solo traveler. We're gonna have group trips for a bunch of solo travelers to meet, connect, have fun together. Honestly, like that might even be better. Not buying anything. What do you mean you're not buying anything? It is funny to me when people are like, "Yeah, man, I'm not gonna buy that." It's like, okay, like, but you're gonna spend the money yourself anyway, right? You're gonna like what? Are you not gonna spend any money in Cartagena? What do you not want the best experience possible in Cartagena? A girl I was dating from Barranquilla got her phone stolen twice by motorcycle riders. Yeah, that happens a lot, dude. Is Tinder the best app to meet Colombian women when you're in Colombia? Um, Probably yeah. But like Medellin and Cartagena, Tinder is like basically just like a whorehouse. Where are you right now? I'm in Asuncion, and then I'm going to Argentina in January. Go to Colombia, Peru, and Brazil this May. Nice, dude. Thoughts on Copenhagen? I've never been. My YouTube link and my link tree is not working. This is a grade A emergency. I heard tourism is way down in Thailand. I don't think it's way down. I think people are starting to not do it. Okay, so this is fine. And again, by the way, guys, if people are like upset, oh shit. Yo, good looks, man. Um in Brazil are Latinas. Brazilians are Latinas, though. So like that's why I didn't answer that question because it doesn't make any sense. Where's my like link? Oh, okay, here it is. Yo, so I appreciate you like pointing that out to me. Here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna put this link in here for now in case people want to like go, but I'm gonna make sure to like update that. I appreciate that. Oh, I know why, because I changed it to passport Paulie. Okay. I changed it to passport Paulie, that's why. Yeah. So I changed it to passport Paulie so the link doesn't work anymore. Fuck. That makes total sense. Okay, awesome. Anyway, it's updated now, so I appreciate you pointing that out. Sorry that I just had to like update this quick, but like I just don't want people going to my YouTube to try to subscribe to my YouTube and then they can't do it. Let me check it out. Okay, it works now. Awesome. Thanks a lot, dude. Anyway, what's a group trip? Good first trip for a single dude. Honestly, like I really think the reason I'm answering this way is I really think that the best first trip is that package. So here's what you get in that package. What you get is you there is a penthouse. He's going to rent out a penthouse for everybody. You're getting a trip. You're gonna use the yacht, right? Do ATVs throughout Cartagena. He's going to hook you up with lunch, dinner. You're going to have private maids who are going to cook and clean for you. And you're going to have activities for 6 whole days, completely planned out, completely paid for. And he's going to hook you up with any girls that you want, all that stuff too. So that's basically your ideal trip. The trip that you imagine in your mind of going to Cartagena, that's what's included. And so if you're interested, again, link in bio, Cartagena group package form. I'm going to just say group trip form. I changed it. And just click on that. Anyway, for black travelers, stay away from Argentina. I guess so. I can't comment. Brazil is a massive country, can find almost any type of girl. Brazilian isn't just one type. That is 100% true. Like, I think that people a lot of times will like, you don't realize until you go to Brazil just how diverse of a country Brazil is. Just how diverse of a city Rio de Janeiro is. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm gonna try to answer some more questions. Fix the YouTube play button. Yeah, dude, I just fixed that, Parker. So can you make sure that it works? Who the baddest? Easy to get laid in Japan. Japan. Look, I look like me, so, like, I can't really comment that much, but, like, I have a lot of friends, a lot of buddies who look a lot better than me, who have told me that it's impossible to get laid in Japan. And Japan right now, one of the big problems that Japan as a nation is facing is their low fertility rate. People in Japan just don't wanna fuck. I don't know why. I don't know why. They just do not wanna get it on right now. So, you know, they they don't wanna have sex, and so, like, generally speaking, if you're trying to go somewhere to get laid, going to a place where people don't wanna have sex is not the best idea of places. You know what I mean? Generally speaking, you wanna go to a place where people love to get laid. Um, uh, Cartagena trip. Anyway, so that being said, it is a delightful place to go to. It could be as who would be the most attractive in general. How dangerous is it really in South America? I mean, I would say this about South America. South America is more dangerous than the people who say it's not dangerous say it is, and it's less dangerous than those people who are scared of it are. You know what I mean? Okay, Leo says I'm in Cartagena for 4 days and then I fly to Japan. I'm not sure what that means. Um, you're only there for 4 days. You might not even be there for the 4 days for the group trip. How are you able to travel a lot? What do you do for a living? This? No, I'm trying to make this a full time job, and it's looking like a lot of people. I've been like just some stuff about me. I've been trying to monetize this channel for months now, and nothing I've ever done people wanted. And I mean, I'm not even mad. It's just like I just wasn't able to pick stuff to sell that people wanted. But people seem to really love these group packages. I'm being honest. People are really loving these group packages. So like I can see myself making enough money off of this that by like January we can do this full time. And like when I start doing this full time, like it's gonna get so much better. I'm going to have the time to dedicate to making full length YouTube videos. I'm going to be able to provide so much more knowledge. This is going to become my full time job. Right now, I'm doing this while I have a full time job and while I'm married to a Latina, which, if you know Latinas, they take up a lot of your time. So, you know, Curitiba has Japanese Brazilians. Sao Paulo also does. It's folly. Japan was a buffet for me, but maybe played a part. You mentioned earlier you're black, right? Maybe they just like black guys. Is there a package for 4 days? There is a package for 4 days. So feel free to use that. So Latvia ladies don't put out. Dude, the whole Latvian thing is a psyop by Indians. It's Indian accounts talking to other Indian accounts. I wish I don't want to go on an India thing because then Poppy, whatever. There's this dude who's like stalking my lives and constantly fights with me about India. Like I feel like if I say the word India 3 times, he's gonna show up. But like there's sometimes where I wish that like we just had two separate internets there was an option to have like a non-Indian internet, or at least a social media site without people without the continent of India there, because they constantly spam things in order to get engagement, in order to get paid. And like we all do it, all content creators do it to a certain extent, but they do it to an extent that just like completely kills the social media channels. And that's where all this Latvia stuff comes from. It's Indian people talking to other Indian people. So, anyway, that's my rant about that. Rose is in the chat. Gift a Rose if you wish there was like an internet that didn't have like people for like the continent of India. Everyone I know who visited India hated it. You just added one more. I hate India. Any looking for a spot for parties, looking for older ladies anywhere. Austin Lehman, I appreciate that. Midwest, Prague, Curacao. You're looking for older ladies? Why are you looking for older ladies? I mean, the package sounds dope. I might add more locations. Yeah, man. I mean, I'll add more locations when people start paying for it. You know what I mean? Like, god damn. But yeah, no, we have Thailand on the way. We have Europe on the way. We got a ton of places on the way, man. Like I really think like I have some people who are like the best people I would argue in the world. Like the guy that I have at the ready for Paris, once we get Paris ready, he is probably the best person to show you around Paris in the world, I would argue. How many days at Rio de Janeiro? I don't know, man. 72. 72. That's how many days you spend in Rio de Janeiro. 72 is the exact. If you spend 73 days in Rio de Janeiro, you are going to have a bad time. 71, horrible time. Exactly 72, you're gonna have a great time. You have a great time exactly 72 days there. How did I meet my Latina? I haven't been to Nepal or Sri Lanka. How did I meet my Latina? On Tinder, actually. I got to Asuncion. I think I got to Asuncion right before it peaked. I think Asuncion peaked, is cooked, is baked. Whatever words you want to use, that applies to Asuncion now. But I got to Asuncion before that happened. And like I like matched with girls on Tinder and like my phone overheated with all the matches I got. I'm not even joking. That actually happened. My phone was buzzing so much it overheated. So if that could happen to me, then like imagine you. That is a funny thing. Like I'll have people, I'll have people, and they'll comment something like, you know, like, oh, you're fat, you're overweight. Like, what do you know about picking up girls? Yada yada yada. And I'm like, look, if I can pick up girls in these areas, if I can pick up girls in these areas, what does that say about what you could do? Like, if anybody should be giving advice, it should be me. Somebody who is like 6'4", is a millionaire, it has a six pack. That's a terrible guy to get advice on where you should go to pick up girls. Because he can pick up girls anywhere. You need to listen to me about where to pick up girls, because if I can pick up girls in a place, then you can pick them up in that place. Roses in the chat if you guys agree with that. Roses in the chat if that makes sense to you. Because that makes sense to me. Anyway, I met her on Tinder. Paulie's a legend. I appreciate that. Yo, Ishmael. Guys, go to his life coaching link in the bio. Everyone wants you to plan their life. Dude, I have coaching calls. If you guys want coaching calls, we can do coaching calls. Here's one thing about the coaching calls is that a lot of people try to like scam me. They try to be like, "Oh, I'll pay you after." Like, I don't do that. You got to pay first. But anyway, Paulie's a legend. His logic is golden. Millionaire here. My wife's hot too. I love how he's just like no hate Nerd Million. I love how Nerd Million was just like lurking, and it was just like, do I have a chance to tell people I'm a millionaire? Oh, yo, I got a chance. Yo. I'm just fucking with you, bro. But I do have a point. Facts. I'm in great shape, late 50s, and I have money. Best place to meet a beautiful, loyal wife. Um, like how should I say this? A lot of the results you get will be based on the mindset you have when you go there. Just as important as the location is the mindset you have when you go there. And if you go to a location and you are like, hey, I'm this, and this, and you treat yourself like you are like a wide receiver trying to get drafted into the NFL. And that's an analogy I'm constantly using because I think it makes sense. Yo, what's up, dude? Women are going to treat you like that. People treat you the way that you treat yourself. I'm going to repeat that. People treat you the way you treat yourself. And so if you treat yourself like a piece of meat, like, hey, I'm in great shape, I got a lot of money, you're going to get a lot of gold diggers. And what's going to end up happening, I have a lot of guys who do this, a lot of guys who come to me and ask me this specific question. That's why I wrote the book, by the way, How to Find Your Latino Wife, but people didn't really want to buy it, so now we're selling trips. But anyway, I talk about this in the book because I think it's important. If you go with that attitude, you're going to get a lot of girls who are only looking for you for your money. And then you're going to say, you know, and then you're going to say all these women are whores and are only looking for money, right? Instead, you need to treat yourself differently. You need to treat yourself, say, hey, I am a man, late 50s, but like I have a lot to offer in a relationship. And I want a beautiful, loyal woman who wants to share her time with me. Yes, I'm on the older side, but we can start a family. I can set you up, all that type of stuff, right? That's the mentality you need to approach it with. But if you have that mentality and you go to what are called second tier cities, places like, well, Asunción's cooked right now, but like Lima, Peru, Santiago, Mendoza, Argentina, those types of places, you will be able to find a good woman. How do you get up to so many travels? People ask me this all the time, man. How do you afford this? Like, I live abroad. So, it's cheaper for me than living in the United States. Spending my time, I've been doing these lists, these ranking lists of my 2025 travels, my 2025 travel ranking lists. And I've been to 20 countries this year. And going to 20 countries this year was honestly cheaper than if I just stayed in Los Angeles. Thank you for your wisdom. I really appreciate it. Yeah, dude, 100%. What about your late 30s? Same thing, bro. I met a woman when I was I met my wife when I was 32. I said this before, girls can sniff out desperation or if you're throwing money at them. That's 100% true. And what will happen is you're going to attract the wrong type of women. So this is actually another important lesson. This is actually another important game that I'm going to put you guys on. So if you have pieces of paper, you have notebooks, write this down. I need to start assigning people homework for these lives. Roses in the chat if you're going to start taking notes to these lives. If you're going to start coming prepared to these lives to take down notes. Throw some roses in the chat. Austin's taking notes. Here's an important thing to remember. Bad girls are better than good girls. And I don't mean this in the sense that you would prefer to have a bad girl over a good girl. What I mean is bad girls dedicate their life to using their looks and using their sexuality to manipulate men to get what they want. Right? Bad girls are professionals at this. Right? So just think about this example, right? Imagine you and your friend are both 19, right? And you're both equally good at basketball. And he gets drafted to like a G League NBA team. right? And now his profession is basketball. And you're like a spreadsheet monkey at like Deloitte or something, right? Oh, I guess like 23, right? And you're a spreadsheet monkey at Deloitte, right? A year from now, he is going to be a way better basketball player than you are because he's spending every moment of every day dedicated to basketball. He's working out, he's going to the gym, he has private trainers, all of this stuff dedicated to making him a better basketball player. That's the same thing with bad girls. Bad girls spend their entire life thinking about how to manipulate men to get what they want. A good girl doesn't do that, right? Good girls spend their time, in Latin America, caring about their family, doing chores, doing that type of stuff. Bad girls spend their time on their nails, on their hair, on their clothes, looking at TikToks about how to date, all that type of stuff, right? And so, because of that, if you're not careful in Latin America, you are going to get trapped by a bad girl. So if you come in with this attitude of, hey, I have all this money, it's going to attract all the bad girls. And even if it attracts the good girls too, you need to have some humility about your ability to pick a partner because you will pick the bad partner because it is her profession to get you to pick her. That is all she thinks about day and night. The good girl has other shit to do, right? So that's my big warning about that as well. So one, you people treat you the way you treat yourself, but two, if you go to Latin America and try to be like a carcass, vultures are gonna pick at you. So don't be a carcass. I'm poor. I only have 500K in my 401k and own nothing. That's just a weird comment. I don't really know what the context is for that. Insanely cool shit, bro. Saw your list too. Why did you not like Laos? So I actually like Laos, to be honest. The reason why it's like at the bottom of all my list though is that like it's just not really ready for prime time. I can't, in good conscience, bring people to Laos because it's just not. It just doesn't really have the infrastructure yet for a bunch of tourists. You know what I mean? Like, there's not really anything there. I think, and like the Philippines doesn't have infrastructure either, but it has a lot of beautiful stuff there. Laos needs to figure its stuff out, and in like 5 years, I think is going to be a top tier travel destination. I know we had homework. I didn't bring a pencil, bro. I'm gonna start giving out homework. What about late 30s? Late 30s is fine, man. I'm gonna right now Argentina advice. Eat some steak. I do find it funny, like you guys kind of have to see it from my perspective. Like if you just ask me, like, can I get some advice? It's like I don't know what advice do you want specifically? Ask me some specifics. Where's your wife from? My wife is from Venezuela, but I met her in Paraguay. I did not meet her in Venezuela. Do not go to Venezuela to meet women. Cambodia and Thailand have a war now. Yeah, but you don't feel that war when you're there. I was in Thailand for a month when that war started and it was completely fine. Things might have changed, but when I was there, it was completely fine. What are your ages? What's up, bud? You demand. Thanks, man. Yo, this is gonna be like the most transparent one yet. But like roses in the chat if you think I'm the man. I mean, at this point, I'm gonna be kind of insulted if I don't get at least 26 roses. I think I answered your question, Patty, to be honest with you. No roses? Nobody thinks I'm the man? Meli Cartes. I can always count on you, man. What are my ages? Oh, like me and my wife? I'm 34. She's 27. What about Latina Asians? Yo, Ismael is my boy. Ismael thinks I'm the man. I appreciate that, dude. Ultra thinks I'm the man. What do I think about Latina Asians? So Latina Asians, so they're Asian Latinas. Asian Latinas are great. Latina Asians are terrible. Latina Asians are the Philippines, and the Philippines has the worst of both cultures. I went on a rant about this for the past 2 or 3 days. Um, do you want kids? We're actually working on kids right now, but that's that like you know it's a little bit of a sore subject. Why no Venezuela? Because Venezuela is like a socialist country. They have a dictatorship. There are gangs on the street that like abduct Americans. The American embassy isn't there right now to even protect you. And then on top of that, the American government is trying to overthrow the Venezuelan government. So, what do you think is going to happen if you show up with an American passport? It's not going to be good. Do you mean mullions? I don't know what mullions means. I will send you roses another time. Okay, man. A rose is like a penny, isn't it? A rose is like a penny because I will do these lives and I'll get like hundreds of roses and then I look at like my gifts total and it's like $2. So I don't think roses are that expensive to be honest with you. I might be wrong, but I don't think they're that expensive. I hooked up with a hot Peruvian girl in Lima. I hooked up with a hot Peruvian girl in Lima as well, man. Congratulations on the engagement, bro. Thanks, man. I'm waiting on a parlay. I need to go off on gambling for a second. Hopefully people don't mind. Hopefully people don't mind. I'm not even gonna ask for Rose in the chat. I'm gonna ask if you want me to not go off on gambling, like put a one in the chat. And like if there are enough ones, I'll stop. But like so I have a gambling addiction. I used to be a gambling addict. I still am, but I just don't gamble. And what I realized in my life, and I think this is true for everybody, but what I realized in my life is that I started to gamble when I was bored and miserable in my life. Like when I was bored and miserable and just not like intellectually stimulated in any real capacity, especially at work, and just wasn't doing fun things, that's when I started to gamble. I look back at my life and I noticed this. The times when like I was like miserable at work, that's when I started gambling a lot. And I think that's true for a lot of people. I would be surprised if it wasn't true for a lot of people. Same thing with like porn addiction, same thing with all these addictions. And so I really think that like if you are gambling a lot of money, you should not gamble. You should go on an adventure. You should say, like, for 3 months, I'm not gambling anything. I'm going to go to South America and I'm going to travel. Because I promise you, going on an adventure, going to South America for 3 months, you will not gamble anymore. You will not do any of this stuff anymore if you're traveling. All of these, all these addictions, like men were born to conquer. Men were born to go on an adventure. Men were born to do cool shit with their lives. And in America right now, you're just not doing cool shit with your lives for the most part. And I'm saying this as somebody who spent my 20s in corporate America. You're not doing cool shit with your lives. You're waking up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then you're going to like a bullshit job where you're being lectured by some stupid bimbo in marketing about microaggressions. That's if you're in sales. If you're in engineering, is like a similar type of bullshit. And like you're working your entire life, you're working at companies where you're doing like ad tech targeting or like this or like that, and then like you eat your stupid slop bowl at like for lunch, and then like 5 p.m. comes around, and if you're in your 20s, you like go home and then you go out with your friends, but you go to the same fucking 5 bars every single time. And that monotony, that boredom, that lack of excitement, and also that lack of like of adventure, of vigor in your life, that's why you gamble. That's why you're addicted to porn. That's why you're paying an OnlyFans model thousands of dollars every month. That's why I was playing FIFA all the time when I was in Los Angeles. The reason why I was playing FIFA all the time when I was in Los Angeles is because I wasn't doing anything interesting in my life. So at least I got to pretend like I was running a football club. And that was interesting. I got to do wheeling and dealing. I got to do all this type of stuff because I wasn't able to do that stuff in my real life. But once you start traveling, your real life starts to get interesting, and you're going to be able to step out of it and not do that type of stuff. So that's my gambling rant. Like I don't, again, as somebody who used to be addicted to gambling, or used to be addicted to drugs, used to be addicted to a lot of stuff. I obviously don't look down on anybody who does it. I'm just saying that I think the reason why you do it is because I think you're bored. I think that the solution to your problems is to not be bored. Um. Anyway, I met a lot of I missed a lot of messages. Did you find Paraguay safe? I hear it's dangerous. Asuncion is incredibly safe. F U.S. government. Okay, I don't know what that means. Where have you been? A lot of places. Get no lung on Tinder in Mexico, but I get many matches in Paraguay. 100%. Didn't know it was a penny. Thanks for letting me know. 100%, dude. Now that you know that it's a penny, gift a rose, man. Thoughts on me, U.S. citizen, single 45-year-old man who loves Argentine tango, living in Buenos Aires for a year. I would recommend do not. Yo, thanks a lot for all the roses, man. I appreciate it. This is my boy right here. Thanks a lot, Bricks. So if you are planning on going to Argentina, do not go to Buenos Aires. Go to literally anywhere else in Argentina. Anywhere else in Argentina besides Buenos Aires is where you want to go right now. Gambling pays my bills. I mean, if you're good at it and you're able to like make a living off of it, like I don't knock it. What all counties have I been to? Westchester County, Nassau County, Manhattan County, Kings County, Orange County, LA County. I've been to a lot of counties, bro. Countries. Countries possessive? Investing in property in Asuncion's Old Town. How far would €1,000 take me in Argentina? I don't know. Argentina is getting pretty expensive, especially Buenos Aires. I don't think people should be investing in properties in South America. I'm against that. So I'm not answering those questions. I apologize. How hard would it be if you're divorced and have kids, teenage kids? I mean, it'd be pretty hard, but like there are a lot of places in Mexico that you can go to. Like I know a lot of guys who are divorced who post up in Monterrey, Mexico. I'm going to Brazil. Some recommendations. Where should I go? You should just go to Rio de Janeiro. That's where you should go. Law, I want to retire. My wife and parents don't want me to, though. So, like, I don't want to like get too much into your personal life here, but I have a friend who's in a similar situation who has like a few $1,000,000 in assets, and he's like, man, I could just retire right now and like live in Thailand and just spend all my time with my wife and my kid. But instead, my wife wants to stay in the area that I'm in, and like, because of that, I can't do it. And my question is like, I feel like you need to have a long, hard conversation with your wife and parents about like what priorities exist in life. And if you want, I'm happy to have that conversation with them. If you want, you can sign up for a consult for $150 an hour and we can sit down. I'm really good at having this conversation. But like the way you want to frame it to them is just like really like what do you think is the purpose in life? What do you think me and you, if you're talking to your wife, like, what do you think we're going to think about when we're on our deathbed? Do you think we're going to think about like the 80th time we've been to Nobu? Do you think we're going to think about like this like handbag you bought? Or do you think we're going to think about all the time that we spent with our kids? Do you think our kids are going to think about Nobu? Or do you think they're going to think about the time that they spent with their parents? Like let's get real. What is actually important to us in our lives? And if a handbag is more important to you than time with your children, I wouldn't even frame it like that. I would say like, okay, like if this is more important to you than time with your kids, we need to sit back and unpack this. We need to have a conversation about this because I don't think that this is healthy, and we need to talk about it. Like I'm not going to unilaterally retire, but we need to have a conversation, and you need to have that hard conversation with her. Or maybe if you maybe if you don't want to, you don't have to. I'm just saying that you know if you want to, that's how you do it. Where would I retire? I would retire in Vietnam right now. 100%. I would retire in Vietnam. Does my wife have a kid from a previous relationship? No. My wife is really religious, so she actually wasn't even like, um, you know, she had zero bodies before our relationship. Have I been to Egypt? Yeah, I actually got this in Egypt. Egypt was dope though. Egypt's a little run down, but like it has its pluses. I actually want to make a video, but I've been making too many videos shitting on India. But like the difference between India and and um and Egypt, both are run down, but like Egypt has a lot of benefits. But like India doesn't really have any. Would you recommend Cordoba? Cordoba is an option. I think you should go to Mendoza, but Cordoba is an option too. Let me join your team, bro. I'd love to book a consultation with you. Yeah, dude, 100%. Click the link in the bio, book a consultation. Would you recommend Colombia? Yeah, Colombia's chill, dude. Paulie, what's up, man? Hey, what's up with you, bro? Go, Paulie. Non-touristy destination you'd recommend. I haven't been to El Salvador, but I like that would be the top of my list of places to go to right now. Waffle says, "How are you affording to go to all these places?" So I um like I answered this before in this chat, and I don't want to like I'm fine repeating myself between lives, but I don't want to repeat myself within the live. Like the way that I afford this is I just live abroad. So, it's just cheaper to live abroad than it is to live in the United States. So that's that. How do you deal with post-trip depression? I don't. I just live abroad. Da Nang or Ho Chi Minh if I have to retire in Vietnam right now? Da Nang. What are my favorite European countries? None of them. I don't go to Europe. Don't go to Europe. If I had to choose, Albania, but don't go to Europe. In the same boat, my wife, she won't move away from her parents. We could easily live in Southeast Asia. Yeah, man. I mean, look, not to hawk, but like, you know, link in bio, consultation call. We can sit down and we can game plan how you can talk to her about this. because I had to change my wife's mind about a lot of this type of stuff. And I think the best way to do it is always to just like focus on like the priorities. You know what I mean? Like, would you prefer South America over Eastern Europe? 100%. Focus on the priorities. Focus on what is important to you and important in life, right? Maybe it's living near her parents. But if you can tell her, look, we have kids. As much as I love your mother-in-law, and by the way, I actually love my mother-in-law. As much as I love your mother-in-law, we can provide way better life for our kids if we were living in Vietnam than if we're living here. It's way cheaper. I have a lot less stress. I can spend a lot more time with the kids. They'll be able to see their father a lot more. We'll be able to travel around. They'll be able to learn and be exposed to all of these great experiences. Like this is what the crux of the conversation has to be. It has to be on like what is the most important thing? What is the thing you have to get on the same side of the table as your wife and say, look, we are a team here. What is our objective? And go from there. Um, South America over Europe, 100%. Pay for play is a lot cheaper in Colombia. You'll also get a lot more success in like, the non-pay for play places. Would Hungary be a good place? No, not really. I want to do South America for a year, then Vietnam. That's a great idea. I really want to move to Southeast Asia, but like it's a long story. But like we can't really swing that right now. But that's mainly because of like giving birth to kids. We want to make sure that we're like giving them like they'll never get like Asian citizenship. So it'll be weird if they're like born in Vietnam. But like once we're gonna actually like have all the kids, our plan is to move to Asia. And again, like my wife is obsessed with her mom. Her mom is her best friend. She talks to her mom like 2 or 3 hours a day. But again, it's about what the priorities are. USA women more concerned about social network than common sense needs. I would even argue the problem is that women in America are more concerned about their social network than they are about their family. They're more concerned about their social network than they are their family. Their friends' opinions is more important to them than their husbands and their kids. And it's not even just their friends, it is the social superego of what people will think about me is more important to them than like what your husband thinks about you. And I'm not saying that from out of a place of misogyny. Like for me, like the only thing that's important to me is my wife's opinion of me. Nothing else is important. And I think that women should have the same attitude, you know. Yeah, I'd recommend Colombia over Brazil. What was the noise and trash? What noise and trash? Where are the most blonde Argentinians live in Argentina in the center of the country? I can't deal with the noise and trash in Southeast Asia, but then again, yeah, dude, if Southeast Asia is too noisy and has too much trash for you, then like I don't know, man. You're not going to be able to go to South America. Best first trip in Latin America. Okay, so how was my Spanish when I first visited South America? I first visited South America 10 years ago, so it was non-existent. So best first trip in Latin America. So I haven't really been promoting this, but it is kind of the point of this. So I'm going to promo this, and then I'm going to take a last question. So any question that happens from now until the end of the live is going to be in contention for the last question. But let me answer this question. So I have a my boy lives in Cartagena. He has a penthouse. He has a yacht. He has a hookup with all the bars, all the restaurants. He has a huge network of girls. He has all these activities for you. And so if you have this like perfect trip in your mind, this perfect first time in Colombia trip that you've always wanted to do, this perfect Latin America trip that you want to do, you can do it. He'll do it for you. 6-day trip. So you have two options. Either A, if you have a group of buddies that you want to go on a trip with, like 6 or 7 friends, hit me up. We will plan a trip just for you. If you're a solo traveler, we have group trip dates, like March 16th, I think is one of the dates. And you all you can do is just pay a nominal amount of money, and your trip is hooked up for a week. Your perfect Cartagena trip. The trip that you'll be thinking about for the rest of your life. So, if you are going for the first time in Latin America, it can be tough. You touch down, you don't know anything, you don't know anybody, you don't speak Spanish. You're really just spending your first week figuring out the lay of the land. And if you're a digital nomad, like, yeah, it can be fun. But if you're only going to Latin America once every year, once every 2 or 3 years, it's not that fun to do that. So, what I would recommend is go to the link in my bio, right over here, click, fill out the Cartagena group trip form. And what you can do is you can either like find yourself a group of people of your friends that you want to go with, and we will build out your ideal trip for you, or you can join the group trip that's already in process, and then you just have to pay some money and you can go to the trip. So that's like honestly what I recommend for you to do for your first trip. The reason why I'm selling this group trip package is because I believe in it. Anyway, dude, this is such a good idea. Love that you're promoting this for us. Yeah, man. Like I've spent the past few months trying to find out what people want to buy, and everything I've tried to like promo, nobody wanted. And this is the first thing that people seem to really want. So, I'm gonna keep on promoting it. I hope that people like it. Through experience. Budget range for a solo for that trip is like $1,000. That's basically the budget that you're looking at. Anyway, do you agree with Redbeard rants that the passport bro movement is not mainstream? I don't really like. I actually don't really, you know that much about the passport bro movement. I don't really like think about the movement at all. Like I really don't care, to be honest with you. Like I'm just kind of in my lane doing my own thing, and people will constantly be like, "Oh, this," and I don't care, man. Like my priority with this is just to make enough money that I can support my family. But anyway, that's crazy good for a week. It is crazy good for a week. I actually so in the form, one of the questions is like what is your budget for this? And every single person has mentioned a budget to me that's lower than the amount that it costs. So that's how good the deal is. That every single person is like, yeah, I'd spend this. And then it's like, well, it's actually a lot cheaper than that. I like the last question of the forum. Yeah, dude. It's funny, every single person answered that question the same way. You learn Spanish through experience living in South America, or did you also take classes? I just through experience. Where's the form? The form is in my link in my bio. Link in bio form. It's like the top form. It's like Cartagena trip package, something like that. And sign up for it. And then what we will do is we will hop on a call. I'll answer any questions that you have. To be honest, like you really shouldn't have questions like well, I'll answer the questions, but like the question should be, how do I pay for this? Because really what it is like, look, whatever you like trust me, whatever you want to do in Colombia, in Cartagena for a week, we have it. It's done. You don't know what you want to do in Colombia. We know better than you what you want to do in Colombia. Honestly, my buddy in Cartagena, who's been living there for 8 months now and has a penthouse and has a yacht, he knows more than you what you want to do in Colombia, who has never been there. I don't mean to be a dick about this because I was accused of being rude earlier, but to be honest, at a certain point, it's like, look, just just pay, and we will set you up, and you don't have to worry about it. Just come and enjoy the best week of your life. Okay. Yeah, Bricks and Bats. I requested to follow you. Send me a message, man. How do you keep your skin looking for so long? I don't know, man. I don't know. Wait, Bricks and Bats, did you like fill out the form? If you filled out the form, like we'll get in touch, man. Also, I think my email's there, is it not? Huh. For some reason I didn't get the form. Anyway, just send me a DM, bro. We'll talk. How much is it for the trip you're talking about? How long is it? Um, the prices. I'm trying to remember what the exact prices are. I think it's like 850 for 4 days and like 1200 for 6 days. And again, that's all included. Somehow I'm getting convinced to go to Cartagena. Manny Ingles has already been to Medellin, and he's made a vow to never step foot in Colombia again. And he just heard my sales pitch, and he's like, "Yo, I kind of want to do that because it's literally everything that you want in Cartagena, women included. So the women are not included in the $1,200. It's a great deal. That's why 100%, dude. It's a great deal. It's a great deal. So the women are not included. However, my buddy has like an entire network of girls that he can hook you up with that are not expensive. So what you want to do, again, link in my bio, click the link in my bio, fill out the form. If you're wondering which form, just fill out any of the forms. You know what I mean? Just fill out. It's the one that says Cartagena in it. But like if you're wondering which one, if you don't know which one, don't worry about it. Just fill out any of the forms, and we'll set up a call. I'll answer any of your specific questions, and then we'll process your payment and get you set up. And if you want, I'll put you in touch with my buddy, and he has connections with all the airlines, and he'll be able to get you a cheap flight as well. Anyway, what's included? So it's so food is all included, penthouse all included, yacht included, ATVs, activities for all 6 days. Everything you want to do is included. Dinner, I think dinner, like you'll pay for dinner. Like if you decide to go to like a restaurant, you'll pay for that. But he has maids who will be cooking breakfast and lunch for you. So that's all included as well. The food on the yacht is included too. You're looking good today, Ball. Thanks, man. Yeah, having a local player who curates the tour experience is amazing. Yeah, dude. He is so excited about this. Let me tell you. I'm getting phone calls from him constantly. Like, hey, I have this idea. Hey, I have that idea. I have this idea. I'm like, look, let's just get this done, and we'll do all these other things. But I have a tour that I'm building out right now in Thailand. I have a tour I'm building out in Europe right now. Within 6 months, wherever you want to go in the world, I'll have something for you. But right now, it's Cartagena. Where are the dates? The dates are like March 16th to the 24th, something like that. How do we pay for the tour? How much is it? So it's either $800 or $1,200. How do you pay for the tour? What you do is go to my link in my bio. If you don't even want to like talk about it and you just want to pay, like I'll just give you a call and we'll process the payment. But if you want to call, we'll set up a call. I'll answer all your questions. I'll give you the link. We'll process the payment and we'll get you set up and it's done. So link in the bio, Cartagena group package. Service with a small private, 100% tour. He's American. Somebody asked if he's Colombian or American. He's an American dude. He moved down to Colombia. It's all set. And like, you know, once you pay for the tour and get set up, you'll talk to him and he'll give you like the day by day, you know, rundown of what you're gonna do. But like, you know, you really don't even need that. You know what I mean? Like you really just need me to tell you it's exactly what you want to do. You know, it's exactly what you want to do in Cartagena, and he'll hook it up for you. What about Berlin and London? No, dude, you're not too old at all, man. You're not too old at all. You are a perfect age for the trip. Anybody of all ages is welcome. And honestly, I think that is a nice thing about the tour is you'll also be able to meet other passport bros. You'll be able to build your travel community. Travel communities are important. Here's why travel communities are important. I was planning on logging off 20 minutes ago, but you guys have got me riled up. So I'm going to keep on going. But here are why travel communities are important. Because TikTok algorithm is lying to you constantly. The TikTok algorithm is meant to do two things. It pushes places that everyone else are talking about, and it pushes content that is positive. That is why I talk to all these TikTok brain people who only ask about Medellin. Because all of the Passport Bro content is about Medellin because that's what the TikTok algorithm pushes. I can tell you as a content creator, I try not to do it, but like I do it a little bit. I never lie in my content, but like I will sometimes just mention Medellin in a post just so I can tag Medellin and I'll get like 5 times the engagement, right? So the reason why you want a travel network is because the travel network will tell you the actual good spots that no one is telling you about. All of the good spots are places that no one is talking about. Once people start talking about a spot, it stops being good. So if all you know about travel is from TikTok, you're going to spend your entire life going to the worst places on earth. You're going to go to all the worst. You're basically dating a 29-year-old ran through former cheerleader. And you're like, well, she used to be a cheerleader in high school. And you're like, yeah, I mean, if you slept with her when you were 15, when you're both 15, that was impressive. She's 37 now, has 4 kids, and 500 bodies. That's not impressive. That's what a lot of these places are right now. So you want a travel network of people who can recommend all of the best spots from you. I can tell you, I have an entire network of people that are constantly giving me the best locations, and most of them they tell me, "Bro, don't share this on your TikTok." So one of the benefits of the group tour, if you're not bringing your own trip, and by the way, if you want to do that, that's also great. But one of the benefits of the group tour with other people is you're going to be able to meet other people who are also travelers. And maybe all of you are inexperienced, but at least one person has heard about one place, one person has heard about one place, one person has heard about one place, and now you have a network. Now you're building that network, and now you'll be able to find the best spots. Does that make sense? Roses in the chat if that makes sense. Roses in the chat if you do not want to sleep with a 36-year-old former cheerleader with 3 kids, 50 tattoos, and 500 bodies. Apparently, Bricks is the only person who doesn't want to sleep with her. Apparently, the rest of you are lining up to sleep with a 37-year-old former cheerleader with 3 kids, 500 bodies. Okay, I just learned a lot about you guys. Do you like how I'm bullying you guys now? Melly Karthus, I know, is not, he's already given way too many roses. You don't believe in white women being traditional? Not really. Sports horse chiropractic, bro. You're a celebrity. Nice, dude. Set up something in Poland or Czech Republic. We're working on it, bro. We're working on it. We are working on it. Makes me sad how terrible it would become in the U.S. from a cost of living versus infrastructure point of view. That's 100% true. What's the age range of people who go on these tours that may have aged out? I think Ken just joined because I just said, you're fine. You're fine. Whatever your age is, you're fine. Oh, we just got a form. We just got a form filled out. We got another one. Wait, what? Somebody. Oh, okay, never mind. Nice. Ken, my guy, I'm 45, almost 300 pounds. You'll be all right, homie. Like you two can become friends on this trip. You know what I mean? You guys will go on the trip together. You'll have a great time, and you'll become boys. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna have young guys and old guys on this trip. Travel doesn't discriminate. I was in Vietnam recently. And there was me, who was 34, my wife, who was 27, our boy Ollie, who's like 30, his girlfriend, who's like 23, 24. We have these 2 English dudes who are each like 37, 38. And then we have this one guy, Ken, who was like 62. He was from Scotland. And it was dope. It was a lot of fun. So it doesn't matter how old you are, bro. It really doesn't matter how old you are, bro. The Wolf Pack, 100%. Tell us about the first South American adventures of Paulie. First South American versions of Paulie. How old were you? I was 25. So I'm not going to tell about Bogota because that honestly wasn't that much of a crazy story. But roses in the chat if you want to hear a crazy story. I want at least 10 roses for this story. It's not a great story, but actually I have a great story for you guys. I have a great story. I want let's get to, we have 22 people. Let's see if we can get to 20 roses. This story will knock your tits off. Otherwise, I'm only going to tell it to Gavin Burnson. Oh, shit. Bricks just decided to do it himself. Okay. Bricks is my boy now, bro. Bricks is my boy. Okay, here's the story. So I went to Costa Rica. And this is just the preamble to the story at this point. So I went to Costa Rica, and I was 25, me and my boy. I landed first. I was in San Jose. I went to Sportsman's Lounge, that famous brothel. I did my business there. By 4, I'd been walking around San Jose, Costa Rica, and I was like, this place sucks. He arrived at 5. and we were like, "Yo, we're not going to be." We were 3 days at a hotel there, and I was just like, I'm not doing this." We checked out. The guy was just like, "Yeah, we can't give you a refund." I was like, "I don't care. I don't care." I was also making a lot of money at the time, so I didn't give a shit. So we got a cab to Hako. Back when Hako was Hako. And the cab ride for two people, it's like a 2.5 hour cab ride, if you guys know, was like $60. And we also bought 4 grams of Perico. And then we just spend 3 days not sleeping, just, you know, doing that and meeting girls and just constantly for 3 days. He had Viagra too that we had to use at one point. At one point, we like met these girls who were trying to get us to pay, and we didn't want to pay, so we did like some drugs with them. They gave us Molly. Anyway, after that, we were like, okay, we're kind of done with this. We went to this place called Santa Teresa, which is, by the way, the story's coming. This is just the preamble. So we went to Santa Teresa, which is like this like nice little beach town. The way I describe Santa Teresa is like, you know those action movies where like a guy like, is on the lam, and then like he like finally escapes and wins, and he like retires on the beach. You know what I mean? It's like this like perfect beach life with like the woman that whose heart he wins. That's Santa Teresa. So we're in Santa Teresa for like 4 days. The guy kind of bitched out because like his boss was calling him. Apparently, he didn't get like approval to leave, so he left. And so now I had another week in Costa Rica, and I was just standing there with my dick in my hands. So I was like, okay, how do I? I wasn't planning on being a solo traveler, but when this guy was being a little bit of a bitch, also like literally for the 4 days, he was just buying tons of Perico and then bitching about his ex girlfriend. So he honestly was not that much fun to be with anyway. He kind of sucked. And so he I wasn't scared. Anyway, so he kind of sucked. So he left. And so there was a hostel near my hotel. And so I went to the hostel, and I was like, playing pool with these people. And one of these guys was like, "Hey, does anyone know how to find some yay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I know how to find some yay." And I hooked them up. And like it was like this like group of like 8 black dudes, and we just became like traveling buddies. I just like hitched onto them. So like we went to a bar, we were dancing, we met some girls, we went back to their place. They had this mansion in the jungle. They had this mansion in the jungle. And so we were hanging out there. We were hanging out there. And then like at like 5 o'clock in the morning, everyone started to leave. And they were like, "Hey, Paul, we got tomorrow." One of their boys was a chef. His name is Byron. He was a chef, Byron the chef. And he was like, "I came down to Costa Rica to learn about the cuisine. So tomorrow I'm going to cook a custom 7-course meal for people based on what I've learned. Do you want to come?" I was like, "Of course. Of course I want to come." So the next day we go there, we're sitting there's me and like 7 other people, all white, and we start eating this like 7-course meal, and it was delicious, but we're like, this feels like the beginning of a horror movie. These people invite us into the jungle in the woods, feed us a dinner, and then like kill us. You know what I mean? Anyway, at one point, one of the guys comes to me. He's like, "Yo, bro, I got a favor to ask you." I was like, "Yo, what's up, man?" He was like, "Yo, so we got like, LSD, but one of our buddies doesn't want to do it anymore. Do you want to do it with us?" I was like, 100%. So I ended up tripping with them all night while doing yay. And at one point, there was this girl that I was talking to, and she was like, "Did you hear? There are people doing drugs at this party. Can you believe it?" And I was just like, "What? Drugs at this party? The party that I am at? I am associate myself with drug users? I will not stand for this. Do you want to leave and go back to my place? I think we should go back to my place. There are no drugs in my place." She said yes. This worked. Right when we were leaving, Byron comes up to me and is like, Yo, man, can I have some of your yay, man? I ran out. Hey, man, can I have some of your yay? I ran out. I looked at him. I turned at her, slapped me in the face. So I didn't get laid that night. What I did learn though is, do you remember that Paris train attack that happened like 15 years ago? That like the Clint Eastwood movie was about. Do you remember that? Like the three Americans who like stopped that Paris train attack. One of the guys in that group was one of those three guys. So he had just been in the movie, and so yeah, I ended up doing like LSD with like a famous person. I'm not gonna tell you which one it was. So yeah, yeah, with the real guy. So yeah, dude. So I think this is a good, yeah, with the real guy, dude, with the real guy. So I think this is a good place as any. Like people have started to filter out. I'm probably gonna come and say hi. I'm married now, so I'm not gonna be able to like get into a lot of the mischief. But I'm definitely gonna come and say hi. That's my plan. My plan is to come and say hi. So it seems like everybody here is a solo traveler, which is fine. It seems like everybody's interested in like the solo travel. Anyway, whoever on so Russell, I'm not gonna like give out your name. Cartagena group trip. Russ, Russell, I just emailed you. Let's set up some time to talk. And yeah, yeah, my wife. The nice thing about my wife, man, is that she's very conservative, and that's good. And it's kind of like I have like a bifurcated life, which I like. You know what I mean? I get to talk about hooligan stuff here, and then like I get to just have like my normal life with my wife. But yeah, so